Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, YouTube. Today we are again reading out of the Bible. I am using a translation called The Scriptures. If you would like to read along with this particular translation and you don't have one, there is a link in the description for a ebook version. But regardless of which translation you use, please follow along and read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. So grab your coffee, grab your Bible, and let's read. Today we are starting a new book and a new section. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1. And it came to be after the death of Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, that Yahweh spoke to Yehoshua, son of Nun, the assistant of Moshe, saying, Moshe, my servant, is dead. So now arise, pass over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I am giving to them, to the children of Israel. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads I have given you, as I spoke to Moshe. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and to the great sea toward the going down of the sun is your border. No man is going to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I am with you. I do not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, to guard to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you wherever you go. And Yehoshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the midst of the camp, and command the people, saying, Prepare food for yourselves. For within 3 days you are passing over the Jordan to go in to possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to possess. And Yehoshua spoke to the Reubenites and the Gadites, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, saying, Remember the word which Moshe, servant of Yahweh, commanded you, saying, Yahweh your Elohim is giving you rest, and he shall give you this land. Let your wives, your little ones, and your livestock stay in the land which Moshe gave you beyond the Jordan. But you shall pass before your brothers in fives, all your brave fighters, and shall help them, until Yahweh has given your brothers rest as unto you. So shall they also take possession of the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession, and shall possess that which Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, gave you beyond the Jordan, toward the rising of the sun. And they answered Yehoshua, saying, All that you have commanded us we do, and wherever you send us we go. According to all that we obeyed Moshe, so we obey you. Only let Yahweh your Elohim be with you, as he was with Moshe. Whoever rebels against your mouth and does not obey your words, and all that you command him is put to death. Only be strong and courageous. So this is right after Moses dies, and they're like, within 3 days, we're going to cross the Jordan. And to the tribes that are getting the land outside of the promised land, actually, it's like, don't forget, you promised to help all your brothers fight and take over the rest of the land. Because it wouldn't be fair if they were like, yeah, we're here, we're good, you all go ahead and you all go fight that by yourselves. So y'all don't get rest until everybody else does too. And they're like, yeah, we remember, we're good, we'll do what you say. Let's get this show on the road. Chapter 2. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, secretly sent out 2 men from Shittim to spy, saying, Go see the land and Jericho. And when they went, they came to the house of a woman, a whore, and her name was Rahab, and they lay down there. But it was reported to the sovereign of Jericho, saying, See, men from the children of Israel have come here tonight to search out the land. And the sovereign of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring out the men who have come to you, who have entered your house, for they come to search out the land." But the woman had taken the 2 men and hid them. So she said, "The men came to me, but I did not know where they were from." Then it came to be, as the gate was being shut when it was dark, that the men went out. I do not know where the men went. Pursue them quickly, so that you overtake them." But she had brought them up to the roof and hidden them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid out on the roof. And the men pursued them by the way of the Jordan to the fords, and they shut the gate afterwards as soon as the pursuers had gone out. And before they lay down, she came up to them on the roof, and she said to the men, "I know that Yahweh has given you the land, and that the fear of you has fallen on us, and that all the inhabitants of the land melt away because of you. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Sea of Reeds for you when you came out of Mitzrayim, and what you did to the 2 sovereigns of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you put under the ban. And when we heard, our hearts melted, and there was no spirit left in anyone because of you, for Yahweh your Elohim. He is Elohim in the heavens above and on earth beneath. And now please swear to me by Yahweh, since I have shown you loving commitment, that you also show loving commitment to my father's house, and shall give me a true token, and shall spare my father and my mother and my brothers and my sisters, and all that they have, and shall deliver our lives from death." And the men said to her, "Our lives for yours. If you do not expose this matter of ours, then it shall be, when Yahweh has given us the land, that we shall treat you in loving commitment and truth." So she let them down by a rope through the window, for her house was on the city wall, and she dwelt on the wall. And she said to them, "Go to the mountain, lest the pursuers come upon you, and you shall hide there 3 days, until the pursuers have returned, and afterwards go on your way." And the men said to her, "We are released from this oath of yours which you have made us swear. Unless we come into the land, you bind this line of scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down. And unless you bring your father and your mother and your brothers and all your father's household to your own home. And it shall be that anyone who goes outside the doors of your house into the street, his blood is on his own head, and we are innocent. And anyone who is with you in the house, his blood is on our head if a hand is laid on him. And if you expose this matter of ours, then we shall be released from your oath which you made us swear." And she said, "Let it be according to your words," and she sent them away. And they went, and she bound the scarlet cord in the window. So they left and came to the mountain and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers returned. And the pursuers sought them in all the way, but did not find them. Then the 2 men returned and came down from the mountain and passed over, and they came to Yehoshua son of Nun and related to him all that had befallen them. And they said to Yehoshua, "Truly Yahweh has given all the land into our hands, and also all the inhabitants of the land have melted away because of us." So Joshua sends 2 guys to Jericho, and they meet Rahab, a woman there, and she hides them. And she tells the guards when they came looking that, yeah, they were here earlier. I didn't know where they were from. They left. I don't know where they went. But you better go run and find them. And she hides them, and she says, "Everyone in the whole land has heard about your God and how he's given you this land, and they're afraid, and a lot of them are running away, and they've lost hope." And she goes in the other way. She's like, "I've shown love to you. Please spare me and my family." And they agreed, like, yeah, if you don't send those guys after us, then get everybody in your house, put a red cord on here so that no one will touch the house. But tell them to stay in the house. If anybody goes outside of the house, we're not held responsible because we won't be able to tell them from anybody else, But if any of our men go into your house, then we'll be held responsible for that. But yeah, she asked for her parents and her brothers and her sisters. And they agree to this, and she lets them out of her window because she was on the wall, so that was a way out without going through the gate. And tells them, wait in the woods 3 days until the pursuers come back, and then you're free to go without being caught or seen. So she is, even though she's not a believer, she sees the miracles and hears about the miracles that God has done for his people, and she'd rather be on their side. Chapter 3. And Yehoshua rose early in the morning, and they set out from Shittim, and came to the Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and stayed there before they passed over. And it came to be after 3 days that the officers went into the midst of the camp. And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your Elohim, and the priests and the Levites bearing it, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Only keep a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it, so that you know which way to go, for you have not passed over this way before. And Yehoshua said to the people, set yourselves apart, for tomorrow Yahweh is doing wonders in your midst. And Yehoshua spoke to the priests, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. So they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Yahweh said to Yehoshua, this day I begin to make you great before the eyes of all Israel, so that they know that I am with you as I was with Moshe. And you command the priests who bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when you come to the edge of the water of the Jordan, stand in the Jordan. And Yehoshua said to the children of Israel, come near and hear the words of Yahweh your Elohim. And Yehoshua said, by this you shall know that the living El is in your midst, and that he is certainly driving out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites, and the Hivites and the Perizzites, and the Gershonites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. See, the ark of the covenant of the master of all the earth is passing over before you into the Jordan. And now take for yourselves 12 men from the tribes of Israel, 1 man from every tribe. And it shall be as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests who bear the ark of Yahweh, the master of all the earth, come to rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan are cut off. The waters that come down from upstream and stand as a heap. And it came to be when the people set out from their tents to pass over the Jordan, with the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. And as those bearing the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests bearing the ark dipped in the edges of the water, now the Jordan overflows all its banks during all the time of harvest. And the waters which came down from upstream stood still, and rose in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Sarathan. And the waters going down into the sea of Arabah, the salt sea, were completely cut off, and the people passed over opposite Jericho. And the priests bearing the ark of the covenant of Yahweh stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel passed over on dry ground until all the nation had completely passed over the Jordan. They finally set foot in the land, and as they step into the river stops. It's dry land in the middle until everybody passes over, and then it flows. But that is the end of the reading for today. Thanks for coming along with me, and I hope you join us again next Saturday. May the Father bless you. Shalom.